I stomped into the crafty crown, absolutely seething with rage. Brennan saw me coming and eyes wide, gestured to a stool in front of him. Oh god, are we gonna confide now to a bartender? Everything okay? No! I can't stand Angelo, I swear one of these days I'm just gonna shove his head down the toilet. Whoa, what happened? He just refuses to work! He doesn't want to do anything because it's women's work. He spent half the day just staring at me. I have to make the beds, dust, polish and wax, run the laundry, everything, I swear, and I'm just... Brendan rested a hand on my shoulder, and the sudden contact made me go silent. That sounds rough. Angelo can't be hard to deal with. It's amazing you've lasted so long without ripping him to pieces. Instantly my anger cooled. No, he will tell you anything. He doesn't mind. He's shameless like that. Man's gonna tell you anything regardless. I mean, I try my best. We're stuck working on this job together after all. It won't do if one of us gets fired. He's not usually this bad. He's just being a jerk right now. Here, I'll get you a drink. You want the usual vodka cranberry? The usual. I've been here once. Actually, can I have a Moscow Mule this time? Brendan frowned. A what? Right, Brendan's not very good at cocktails. It's like... What is a Moscow Mule? It's like vodka and sugar, isn't it? But that's also what a White Russian is. Huh. You could just tell him what's in it. I mean, you drink it, you must know. How about a White Russian? What's with these Russian-themed drinks? Are you some kind of commie? Is that the kind of guy you usually go for or something? That was a bit unexpected. A vodka cranberry will do? Wait, isn't vodka Russian? That's probably why all those drinks have Russian names in the first place. But Brendan nodded happily and set about preparing the drink. He wasn't joking when he said commie. Oh, good. Oh. Well, being around too many old people made him horribly racist, apparently. I watched him from behind the counter. His uniform really suited him well, emphasizing his broad shoulders, not to mention his wiry muscles in his arms. It showed him off almost as well as Ashley's bartender outfit did her. The two of them should have been a picture-perfect couple, but something had obviously gone horribly wrong in their relationship. Ashley was so nice too, at least sure it seemed to be. What was the problem between them? Does Ashley have like a Russian dad? Because I could see that being a problem. He slid the glass over to me and looked at me expectantly. I took a slip. Ugh. I tried desperately but unsuccessfully to hide my gagging. The syrup! It's been this long since he started and he still ain't got the hang of making a simple drink. How is the Crafty Crown still in business? By having attractive people working there. I glanced around at the bar on the side where Brendan worked. There were almost no customers. In fact, all the customers were older men crowding around Ashley's side of the bar, making small talk with her. Anyone who came in made a sharp right and headed to her area of the bar. Brendan followed my gaze. Oh, her. Maybe now was a good time to ask about them. What exactly happened between you and Ashley, by the way, if you don't mind my asking? Always a bad thing to ask, but sure, why not? Brendan's face darkened. He glared at Ashley as if trying to drill holes into the back of her head, clearly deep in thought. After a few seconds, he sighed. Ashley was very sweet. She was very nice, but we weren't suited to each other at all. We have very different personalities. I'm a bit too gruff for her, I think. Right, so basically you were a dick. It's not that I'm mean, though. I'm not mean, right? I cautiously shook my head. See, it's just sometimes I say things and they come out totally wrong. Oh, God. Oh, God. Right. Once again, I am uncomfortable with where this is going. I'm not trying to insult people, and if they really trusted me, they'd accept that and trust that I didn't have any bad intentions. You sound like someone with an alcohol problem. But instead, they seem to think the absolute worst of me. I've never been able to keep a girlfriend tied down. That certainly sounded all wrong. It's just that things all get jumbled up. I swear I'm trying really hard. But he was kind of like Mark, socially awkward. I mean, you understand, right? Women can be really hard to deal with. For fuck's sake. Ugh. Literally alarm bells are like, bring, 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 stay away, stay away, stay away, bring, bring. The red light is blinding my eyes. They ask me for my opinion or an outfit or something, and I tell them and they get mad. What if they don't want the truth? Well, why ask if they don't want the truth? Because for confirmation. I mean, you get me, right? Bit of a stereotype, but you know, details. Maybe you're just a jerk. Oh, that's way too funny not to say. Actually, you kind of sound like a douche. He smacked a hand to his face. It's happening again. I'm not trying to be mean. I mean, isn't it better to be straightforward with people? Why bother asking a question if you just want the answer to make you happy? Again, I think it could be solved by a phrasing issue, Brendan. Like, if someone goes, how do I look? If you say, like complete shit, that's probably not the greatest way to put it. There are better ways of saying, oh, I'm not a massive fan of that shirt, but you know, this one's pretty good. You know, like, or I'm not a fan of that with that. This, however, could go much better with this. Not just, nah, mate, you look fucking shit. Ugh, I would not feed you to a pet of mine. Like, oh boy. You might as well not ask it then. I can't be responsible for your happiness like that. Why ask me if you didn't want my real answer? What a hypocrite. I can't believe you don't get this. It's not a hard thing to understand. All women are the same, jeez. And that was why he was a jerk, not because he was blunt. Regardless, I held my tongue. Yeah, it's a sexism thing. Brendan seemed really upset and I didn't feel like getting any further onto his bad side. It's not anything he said, by the way. It's what it is. It's one specific thing. All women are the same. Hang on, let's try that again. All women are the same. That's the sort of... I mean, that is basically sexism. Like, you are just... You're tarnishing a whole gender with the same brush. Like, no, that's not allowed to happen. Oh, but it's not sexism, it's stereotyping. Oh, if only we had a word for what stereotyping an entire race or gender is, huh? Whatever. Well, whatever. Anyway, so she get back to work. He held up his arms as if posing for a strongman competition. Gotta get good, you know? I'll talk to you next time. You'll come back again, won't you? He looked so anxious asking me that I instantly agreed. Of course I will. Awesome, I can't wait. I watch him leave and greet another customer with a broad grin, who then looked down at my botched drink. I decided to leave it behind. I hope I didn't pay for that shit. There's a vodka cranberry in the middle of London. It's going to be like £4. You did a terrible job of folding this corner. And look at the comforter. It's all slanted to one side. Where has your head been today, Oogie Bigoo? I don't know, Angie. Maybe fitting blankets on a king-size bed would be easier if I wasn't the only one doing it. I do the bathrooms and floors. You did the beds and clothes. That is fair. I've told you I don't do women's work. He shot me a look when I tried very hard not to grind my teeth. Ever since that fight and subsequent awkwardness, Angelo and I had been bickering. Constant, non-stop bickering. He would tell me exactly how to do everything that I was doing. It was never good enough for him. I mean, again, this is something that I'm siding with him on, because you're clearly not doing the job you're intended to. Yes, it would be easier if helps, but it's not like he's not doing his fair share. Yes, he's calling it women's work, which is bad, but he appears to be doing half of the jobs and you do the other half, and he's doing his bit perfectly and you're not doing your bit perfectly. Like, I'm sort of siding with him on that bit. I maintain that I was completely innocent, having done just as well as I did before. Not did I ever pick a fight with him, as far as I could tell, or I had ever tried to do with open his mind just a little bit. That's picking a fight! That is picking a fight! Ugh. It wasn't my fault that his mind was shut tighter than my mother's purse in a candy shop. Thank God that went that way. Right. My work, your work. Totally separate. You've told me that before. Then why did you start listening to me? I have better things to do with my time. Angela grunted and turned away. I fixed the bedsheets and we turned into the next room. This was also a larger room than most and would take more time to clean. Try not to miss anything this time, okay? Yeah, you see, shit like that isn't gonna help. Just like... pointing out errors when I make a flagrant error, of course, right, sure. I can get that, but saying stuff like, you should do better this time. No, you're just being a dick at that point. Holy shit, my voice. What the... Oh, there we go. God. Bit more gruffer and I'd start to sound like Danny fucking Dyer. He shot me a glare and headed into the bathroom. That is... I wonder whether Danny is actually modelled on Danny Dyer, because he seems like a Cockney type. Sort of bit of a scrabble, short brown hair. More likeable, but a criminal dodgy background. Is that why I thought he was a convict or something? Danny. Like he was doing something else, because I was just, in my mind, secretly relating him to Danny Dyer. Oh man, there are Americans here who don't know who Danny Dyer is. Trust me, it's better off that way. I started to prepare the sheets, but was interrupted. Oggy Piggy, now what do you want? Could you come here? Rolling my eyes, I stepped into the doorway of the bathroom. What do you want? There are these feminine things. I asked that you handle them. I thought the bathroom was a man's job. Well, yes, the things are always not so cut and dried. I frowned. The feminine items he was referring to were a box of tampons, a packet, and a pocket. Oh no, a packet of birth control pills and makeup all scattered around the sink. Sure, they were items that most guys would be embarrassed to touch, but they were pretty normal to have in a bathroom. This could be the first time he'd encountered them. Was he just trying to get out of doing even this much work? No, I don't think he knows what goes where. I know people who have, like, all their makeup organised in a certain way, and, like, I could just about tell you what lipstick was. I don't know, I feel for him a little bit here. I don't know, if I were a guy, I probably wouldn't want to handle makeup and tampons, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I grudgingly went into the bathroom and shifted the items so he'd actually be able to get to the countertop. The bathrooms themselves were tiny boxes in most of the rooms, the space taken up by the large bathtub and double sinks lining either side of the wall. As such, there wasn't much room to manoeuvre, and Angelo didn't seem to want to give me any space. I brushed against his arm first, and immediately he started to talk. Why must you be so klutzy, Oggy Piggy? And you are taking such a long time. Please hurry it up, would you? Man, fuck you. You should have done it yourself. For the love of... I'm trying, Angelo. I sped up and was about finished when this time my backside brushed up against his, torso. How small is he? I glanced at him through the mirror and we made eye contact. We both flushed. Why must you insist on making everything so difficult? Slow, clumsy, klutzy, completely unladylike, and always rough around the edges too, and your personality is like a clump of bricks with feet. I stood there taking his insults, watching his face turn redder and redder, his eyes avoiding mine. If you weren't so brash all the time, perhaps you'd actually find someone who could tolerate you and... Oh my god, he liked me. That's what all this man-woman stuff was about. When he asked me to cook for him, when he protected me from Ozzy's plotting, he felt all this way all along. I mean... It's not ideal, is it? We're gonna turn into that pair who are like... If I encourage him, we're gonna be like miserable for I give it 6 months at most. Fuck that noise. Angela, maybe I'm reading this wrong, but I think there's something you should know. I'm not interested in you. I'm sorry. You're just not my type. I see. He released me and took a step back. I flattened the front of my uniform, avoiding his eyes. Well, I've got to finish the bedroom. Yes, let's get back to work now. Wow, it's literally like I crushed his soul. I escaped from the bathroom, but not from the tension. The rest of the workday was completed in silence. There was no bickering, no joking, no evaluation of the other's works, not even requests for help, just stiff silence. Through all that, I tried hard not to look at Angelo. I didn't want to see the sadness in his eyes. It's just not worth doing. I don't feel bad, fuck him. I was walking down the hall when I heard a series of loud bangs coming from one of the rooms. That was Danny's room, wasn't it? What was he doing in there? Could have been construction or repair for the hostel, but it didn't quite sound like hammering, more thumps and thuds as if we were beating on something with fists. He's probably just kicking a football around in his room or something. Man, you don't even want to knock on his door and make sure he's okay. But there was this time in 6th form. Oh, here we go. At Peggy's words, everyone in the room became intensely focused on the meal Ashley had prepared for us. Peggy didn't seem to notice the disinterest. Stephanie was on and on about how she had this horse back at the manor. Seriously, she said it like that, the manor, and a saddle with diamonds on it. And we thought she was a right twat, as anybody else probably would. But then her parents actually brought her horse round. And it really did have a diamond saddle. Titchy little ones, like you'd see on a handbag, right? Either diamonds or rhinestones, but apparently it was proper flush, so I think it really was diamonds. Totally bling. Totally bling. And then this other girl, Dana, I can't remember, trying to nick it. Not the saddle, the entire horse she got on, where no one was looking, and just rode off. Of course, she got herself nicked then, and the fuzz brought her back, crying all over the place. God, she was the worst. The fuzz means police, and nicked means arrested. London slang might be very difficult for some people to understand. I remember one time she caught onto a boy named Alexander who was dating another girl in the form. Peggy! I jumped. Peggy stared wide-eyed at Assie, who slammed her fist onto the table. I'm sick of hearing about your sixth form. Do you think any of us care? We don't know these people. We will never know these people. We do not care about these people. Most of these stories aren't even interesting. Diamond Saddle was a little interesting. Okay, so she's 1 for 12. Let's give her a round of applause. Assie glared at Ashley, who looked away. I swear, if I ever have to hear about your sixth form again, I'll smack you across the face. Learn to read the room. Maybe if you did, you wouldn't be so bloody annoying. You know what? I don't think Assie's going to get very far in life either. Finished with her tirade, Assie grabbed herself another helping of noodles, then took her plate and left the room. Boy, that was mean, wasn't it? Peggy laughed nervously and we avoided her eyes. Wasn't it? She was out of line, wasn't she? A stiff silence met her question. After a few seconds, Ashley squeaked up. She was definitely a little harsh, if you ask me. No! There's no questioning that she was harsh. She may have been telling the truth, but you don't get to tell the truth in such a dickish way. Right. Peggy fiddled with her fork for the rest of the meal, which didn't last very long. Suddenly everyone grew ravenous and finished their food in moments, at which point they hastily shuffled out of the room. Finally, it was just Peggy and me, which was partly because I was a terribly slow eater. Hey, okay, Peggy. Yes, Peggy? Am I annoying? No, alright. Rule number 1 of all visual novels. You never, ever, 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 ever lie. It will always come back to haunt you. The same goes for the Telltale series. You're fine the way you are. Don't worry about it. You are you. I guess so. You can't change the way you are, can you? Would you even want to? I don't know. Would I? You should just be yourself. Yeah, but being yourself doesn't mean you should just accept whatever behaviours pop into your head. Yeah, that's also true. You don't have to be yourself and then just trash talk everyone else, for example. If people did that, we'd have made no progress as a society up until now, I guess. I want people to take action to make a world a better place, right? That means changing things. Maybe that means changing me too. You can't always know how you're making other people feel. If I'm bothering people, she trailed off, then shook her head. I'm taking my plate, thanks for your help. She took her plate and left the room, with a frown on her face. Did I help? Probably not, no. It didn't look like you helped anyway. I woke up with a shudder. Why did you wake up with a shudder? I'd had a terrible nightmare about getting trapped in the Eurotunnel on the train between England and France, stuck down there in the dark with the entire English Channel over my head. Rubbing my eyes, I crawled out of bed and started to get ready for the day. I had just pulled on my clothes when there was a light rapping against my door. Oggy Piggy? Yes? The knob turned. Shit, I forgot to lock it when I went to bed. Before I could grab it, Chi-Hyo burst away and, oh god, no, what? Hey, I need a favour. I didn't give you permission to come in here. She looked me up and down, an eyebrow raised. Well, you're not naked. What's the problem? I nearly was, though. We are both girls. There's nothing I haven't seen before. Yes, it is. It definitely is. Anyways, I need your help on a painting today. I was hoping you could come with me. Me? Really? I frowned, scratching the back of my head. So you need someone to carry your stuff? She crossed her arms. Come on, I'm not like that. No, I need your presence near me. I want you to join my flow. Can you stop getting randomly trendy, please? God, you're like a country file presenter. That sounded a little... I won't keep you for more than a few hours, and it's your day off too, so please... How did you know that? I have my ways. She grinned, and I again found myself wondering about her. Her personality was hard to pin down. Had she asked around to find out about my schedule? Was she interested in me? Did I want her to be? Why are you always jumping to this conclusion? Outside of Angelo, it's literally not been a help. I mean, if I don't go, then she'll be miserable, but I'm not doing anything else today. I can tell this because it's my day off. If I don't go this, I just waste a scene. Who knows, I might meet Scooby-Doo on the way.